Welcome to episode number 64 of the PTFooty podcast. I am joined here today by Sam, who's back from his vacation.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me back on again. I've missed this very much.
You might have, but Steph did a good job for you, so we didn't
Of
miss you at all.
course. How
Not
rude.
at all. You know it. And obviously, I'm your host, Peter. It's just gonna be me and Sam today. So I don't know, how it's gonna be, but it's probably gonna be very good because normally our stuff's very good. Not just to pat myself on the back, just saying.
Bit modest of you.
I know, right? I'm a modest guy. What can I say? All right, I think we should just get out of the Porto out of the way since, to be honest, I couldn't be asked watching that game because obviously of the result of the Benfica game the day before. So I didn't watch anything about that game.
I actually have an excuse why I didn't watch it because I was working. Yeah, that's my excuse.
That's a good excuse. That's better than mine. Mine was just like I was
Definitely
pissed off
better
at
than yours.
I was just pissed off that Benfica tied. So I didn't watch that.
Felt like I lost though.
I know. Anyway, Porto won away. Corona scored supposedly a great goal. I didn't watch it, so I'm not going to comment on it. They had Casillas in goal, Ricardo, Felipe, Marcano, and Alex Telles across the back. Danilo, Oliver, Corona, Brahimi, Marega, and Abubakar. Not watching the game, I did say this past week that Porto were going to win. I don't like this Braga team. From what I've watched, they hadn't impressed me at all. So the only, I guess, controversial thing that we could even bring up is the fact that Braga played on Thursday and then they had to play on a Sunday, which normally the league is actually very protective of the teams that play in Europe. So that was kind of surprising. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about this game, Sam. What do you want to say?
Say that again. You cut out for me.
Where did I cut out?
So I heard you talking about Braga's team being not as good, and they played on Thursday. So just everything after that.
Oh, I said that normally the league is very protective of teams that play in Europe, and in this case they really weren't. But I mean, it is what it is. And I've asked your thoughts on what do you want to say about this game?
Not about the game, but about Porto in general, if you wouldn't mind. But
Yeah,
despite not making any major signings, I will say that they have looked stronger than last year, and I think that's due to Sergio Conceição's management of the team. I think he's an underrated coach, and I think I'm not sure French football, but I heard he did well with Nantes, so I expect Porto to fight until the end, not like last year where they sort of, I know Sporting didn't do as well, but Porto sort of, I think we could always tell that Benfica had it covered last
yeah.
year, but I expect Porto to not let their guard down as easily, and especially with Abubakar as well. He's been revitalised under Conceição. The only problem I have, so Abubakar hated Porto at a point. He said he wasn't going to play, if I'm correct, ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't he do the same with Miguel Layún, who we all know is a fantastic, well, I think is fantastic. I'm not sure what you think about him, but when he first played for Porto, he was fantastic. So I hope to see him back in the Porto team.
I think he's not better than Alex Telles in my opinion, but I really liked him. I was sad when he joined Porto. I said it here.
With Miguel Layún as well, he's not just a left back. He's I hate to use this comparison, a Bruno Cesar type of player. He can fit in the holding midfield role, the right back role, even maybe a left midfielder. So
yeah.
I hope Sergio Conceição helps Miguel Layún back into the team.
Maxi Layún.
Or if not, just sell him by tomorrow, because obviously tomorrow's deadline day.
It's like sell him to Sporting. It's fine. I don't mind.
I would take him, definitely.
I know who wouldn't. I mean, come on.
Especially over fucking Piccini. Jesus Christ.
I'm still not over that. Guy. He's like Skeleton 2.0, which is funny AF because he spent money to get a guy that you'll basically already had.
Shkolov is better than him. I don't care. I'll say. I want to see Ristovski play.
Well, I don't know about him either. I do agree with you, but at the same time, I have my doubts about Abubakar. I still have my doubts about Conceição. I want to see like a really difficult game, like a Rio Ave or Sporting or like basically those teams, because not even Chaves is playing well. Like Chaves has like 1 point so far in the league, so I don't think Conceição has been challenged
But
just yet.
away, well, they played away, right, against Braga.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
it was.
not that's not an easy game by any
No,
means.
it's not. But I mean, I just wasn't impressed with what they were showing us. Like from what I've watched of Braga, and I watched quite a few games, I just wasn't. They struggled so much against that Icelandic team. It didn't even make any sense how bad they were.
I
You
guarantee
know,
when Sporting will play them, they'll beat us, or they'll just try as hard, much harder than they did against Porto and Benfica.
maybe I don't know. I just think that
Abel wants his revenge on Bruno de Carvalho, so
he already got it last year.
yeah, but he wants more. He's not content.
He did beat you guys last year. He was just like,
Oh,
okay, I'm
I
here for a
remember.
week. Let's beat them. Yeah.
Fucking Abel.
But it is what it is. Porto are the only team that hasn't conceded a goal so far in the league. They're undefeated, 12 points. But I mean, it's still a long way ahead, and teams get struck by injuries, or maybe someone leaves tomorrow. Who knows? And things get really complicated. But we'll see.
The only player that's been linked away tomorrow, well, today and tomorrow, was Abubakar. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's been linked to Wolves to
Yeah,
join Nuno Espirito Santo, which obviously Abubakar is not the biggest fan of. So I don't see the point in him going there. It wouldn't really make much sense. But maybe him, Ruben Neves. Who else is there? Diogo Jota,
Bali.
Bolly.
I don't know.
This Porto 2.0.
Exactly. I don't know. I've also seen some the new rumors always popping up. Those always pop up, but
Yeah, but I don't think he's going. I don't see like some because the rumor was like PSG, wasn't it, for like 60 million? I don't see him going. Yeah, so
it's still Ricardo. I'm still,
yeah,
it can still happen.
but the thing was Tottenham, but now Tottenham have signed Aurier from PSG. So maybe the options are running out for Ricardo Pereira. Maybe he does stay, which Porto will be. It's like buying a new player for Porto, really.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. If he stays, that's massive. I still have my doubts about the strikers though. Like defense, I think is solid. Like even if you lose Ricardo, you lose. It's like going from Nelson Smith to Andre Almeida, basically the same thing. But the Porto team would still be really solid on defense. Losing Daniel would hurt a lot, but I'm just kind of surprised that they haven't signed any other strikers because once you think about it, they got Abubakar, they got Marega, they got Suarez, and they have Rui Pedro. And like it just depends on how much impact Rui Pedro can make on the team, right? Because we all know that Marega has his ups and downs. Abubakar has a lot of ups and downs, and Suarez is currently injured, so.
Conceição said he might bring in some more players before tomorrow, which I doubt. But I would say bring in a striker because I agree with you. I think Marega is a bit of an on and off player. I, I'm not sure about Tiquinho because a lot of people rate him, but I'm a bit on the fence. Just
Mm.
because when he first joined in January, he was good, but I don't think he did much after. But I don't know, especially with Andre Silva, who Porto. Porto fans didn't really like him towards the end, if I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was their best striker, but now it's like I said, Abubakar coming back is like a new signing for them as well. I'm not sure if they're going to keep Marega till the end of the season. If he doesn't leave now, I think he leaves in January on loan to like Turkey or somewhere.
Probably. It's just that the thing with the Bubakar is that he's kind of like Andre Silva, at least to me, where he can go on a 5 game, scoring streak and then go like 10 games without scoring. I just don't know if Abubakar can. If he stays consistent, he's a great player. We just seen him at Porto before, where when Jackson was still there, he came on a couple times and scored. But when he had to take over the starting role, he started really well, really hot, and then he just kind of disappeared. And Maybe playing with Suarez or with Marega will help him in that way. But I don't know. I'm still on the fence about him because of that. He's a good player, but I don't
Maybe
know.
it's the Conceição effect. Maybe he'll play a lot better under Conceição than he did Espirito Santo. I'm not sure. He played under Lopetegui as well, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe it's just the case of different tactics for different coaches.
yeah, yeah. That's true. I think the 4-4-2 might help him as well because you're not stuck being the sole striker, and even when you're not scoring, you might be providing, which is always helps the player mentally.
Yeah.
All right. So the only confirmed piece of news that I've seen was that Suk got loaned out to a random Turkish team or whatever.
I'm sure Porto will miss him.
Yeah, I know, right? Getting.
How will they survive?
I know. It's shocking, really. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it on the Porto part. Although I will just double check and see if I did not miss a thing.
I think we did
But
Porto justice when I'm watching the game. Both gave our 2 cents on things.
yeah, I think so too.
You're welcome, Kevin and Rich.
So yeah, Porto signed some random guy for like the B team. So, but I don't know him. And I think that's pretty much it. There was talks about Marseille wanting Abubakar, but obviously they went for Mitroglou, and apparently that also was broken down as well. Abdullah left, so whoa, oh my god,
another massive departure from Porto.
I know, right? That's really it. Yeah, there's nothing else here.
Do you expect anyone to come through deadline day for Porto?
I'm still maybe they might get that. What's the Brazilian guy that they were trying to get? I don't know his name, but you know who I'm talking about, right? The midfielder.
Yeah, I'll remember it, and it's going to annoy me. You'll say it and it'll annoy me.
Vandal, something like that. I don't know.
My dog. No,
not
Vandal. Wendell. That's his name. Wendell.
Okay. There you go.
Or Vendel, how you say it, I don't know.
Yeah, and they might sign that guy from Steaua, the striker. I heard he was linked with them. That one wouldn't surprise me. The midfielder would more, to be honest with you. So to answer your question, if I think a deal goes through tomorrow, it's gonna be that striker.
I don't see any activity really going through. The only activity I see out, and that's Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah, that could also happen. I think it's gonna be a very uneventful deadline day for Porto fans. I'm sorry to say. While on the other hand, we'll get to Benfica and Sporting. I think so. Things are gonna heat up in Lisbon.
Yeah.
All right. So we're moving on now, and I think it's smart that we go Sporting now, so I can rant on Benfica a little bit later on.
I will join you.
I'm just trying, to get to the good part at the end, so keep people plugged in.
Best to last.
Of
Jokes,
course,
because Benfica are in third.
So funny. You are so funny. So Sporting played Estoril. They won 2-1. Gelson and Bruno Fernandes scored. Patricio in goal. Piccini, Coates, Matthew and Coentrão across the back. Bataglia and Fernandes. Gelson, Acunha, Alan Ruiz starting for the first time this season alongside Paz Dost. To be honest with you, I barely paid attention to this game as soon as Sporting scored, which was like really, really early. So I'll let you take the reins of this one.
I nearly shat myself. Jesus, 2-1 and they score, and I was just like, oh my god. My dad was on who called for the offside, but I didn't really see it. And then as soon as it was rolled out, I've never been so happy because on my timeline on Twitter, literally Benfica and Porto fans taking the absolute piss out of Sporting. Then it just suddenly all turned around, and it was just fantastic to see them get so excited and so depressed in the space of a couple of minutes. Bruno Fernandes, what a fantastic player we've signed. 8.5 million, I believe we paid for him. Just
Hmm.
fantastic. The goals he scored, it reminds me, I believe, controversial opinion, that Bruno Fernandes is Portugal's answer to Marco Asensio, just because of the amount of the type of goals that Bruno Fernandes and Asensio have scored. I don't think they're yet to score a normal goal. They're both fantastic players, both playing the same position, right behind the striker. And honestly, Bruno Fernandes is probably one of the most exciting talents to come out of to come out of Portugal in the next seasons. I think he'll be a player who goes for big money, if not this season, the season after. Uh, I think if we also keep a hold of Adrian and William, we probably do have one of the best midfields, if not the best midfield in the league. Just to add that in as well. Gelson scored again. I researched today in 4 games, Gelson scored 3 goals and got assists in the league on us. So is a good conversion rate from him. And I think when Liverpool signed Salah, because you remember Gelson Martins was linked to Liverpool as well. I think that lit a fire under him, just to say that he's going to outperform everyone else, just to prove that Liverpool not made the wrong signing, but should have gone with Gelson Martins instead. And I think he's putting all the big clubs on notice that Gelson Martins is a great player, and probably going. If I see anyone in Portugal going for their release clause, which I believe Gelson's is like 80 million, I think they upped it to. I definitely see Gelson Martins going for 80 million. When you think of Coutinho going for, what was it, 120?
Yeah, 160, I think, actually,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. Just to add to your point, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I
that's
thought this
fine.
was really interesting. A Liverpool fan that I've talked to a while ago about Gelson, when he asked me, or I saw it on the timeline, doesn't matter if they should go for Salah or Gelson. I said Gelson at the time. I still think Gelson. But he tweeted out today saying, if we ever need a replacement for Mane in the future, we should definitely look at Gelson Martins. Such a ridiculous dribbler. And then he tweeted at me saying, you were right, at Peter1678. He's going places. Just to add to your point that Liverpool fans are also, on notice now about Gelson. Some will probably be on the fence. A lot of them know him now.
I think a lot of Portugal fans should be excited as well. Obviously, with the World Cup being this season, if Gelson Martins continues to perform, who says he doesn't get into that starting 11? When you think about it, the other wingers, Quaresma, Bernardo Silva, obviously, just made a move to Man City. Nani, you think, I'd say Gelson right now is better than Nani and Quaresma. Not Bernardo Silva, maybe just yet. But
Yeah, it's so difficult because I think they're really different. I think both of them together actually would just be really good because one has the tendency of drifting into the middle. The other one's more of a pure winger. So I think Gelson, I don't know, he might be better. I don't.
can you
It's
imagine an
difficult.
attack with Gelson, Bernardo Silva, and then Cristiano Ronaldo at striker?
Yeah,
That is just fantastic.
and especially if Andres Silva develops as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him as well. He's doing pretty well, I think, at AC Milan. Scored in his debut, or 2 in his debut.
Yeah.
So fair play to him. Back to Sporting, however, Mateu, what a signing I think he's been as well. Obviously, I haven't been on the podcast for a few weeks. I just want to get my Sporting agenda out of the way. That I think he has come in and already is the best centre back in the league. I used to think it was Felipe, but I've seen Mateu play. Not only is he good on the ball, not only is he a good defender. Have you seen him make runs with the ball? He's fantastic with the ball at his feet. He's not as slow as people say he is as well. People have been saying he's like a snail. He's pretty. I wouldn't say fast, but he's not the slowest player I've ever seen. The way he overlapped. Who was it? I think it was Bruno Fernandes on the counter attack this game, which made me laugh. But I think Mateu is a solid signing. I think Barcelona were stupid to let him go for free. I think they should have got something out of him. But mistakes happen, I guess. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I would say a lot of people have been proven wrong about Mateu. I think when he did sign for Sporting, a lot of Barcelona fans, I'm not sure about Benfica or Porto fans because I don't really pay attention to them often, what they were saying about Mateu. What did you say about Mateu?
We were having a laugh. It was kind of funny. I don't know. I was going with like the Barcelona fans. kind of
That's
like,
fine.
oh, he's not as good. But I mean, to be fair with you, I do that with every player that joins that I don't watch a lot. I did the same with Piccini, and I was right on that one. So
Yeah, I do the same when Benfica signed the goalkeeper from Anderlecht. I was like, I didn't know who he was. I've never heard of him before. So, but obviously, we get proven wrong. Remember Coates at Sunderland as well. They said the same
oh
thing.
yeah,
So hold that. Even Mitroglou at Fulham before he came from Benfica as well. I think that's another one that we can refer back to as well. So Mateo surprised me. Cohen Trout, I'm still a bit on the fence because when I went to watch the game live against Bucharest, he lost possession so many times, and I know he got one of the guys sent off, which I believe apparently was a dive.
yeah,
But
it was.
okay, but I don't know. He's obviously better than Marvin, and I think that's not that hard. But every time, like Cohen Trout, I'm not sure if you saw went down injured in this game, and I thought that was it. That's
Yeah.
his season done. But he got back up obviously and continued the game. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, when you see him go down, it's just like, oh shit, what's going to happen? But I think Cohen Trout, I think there's still a bit more to come from him if he wants to. Obviously, he got recalled back to the national team if he wants to stay there when Guerrero comes back from injury. Bastos has been a bit disappointing, I'd say. He hasn't scored a lot. Against Bucharest, he was awful as well.
Did you listen to last week's podcast? If
No.
you let me just tell you a bit of what I've spoke with Steph. We were saying that strikers are sometimes hard to measure. It depends on how many opportunities they also get. I think this team isn't playing as much to Bastos as they did last year because there's so many other good players that you don't just need to feed the ball to those. And that kind of hurts him a little bit. I'm not sure if he's not playing as well because, to be honest with you, I haven't paid attention to one full game of Sporting except for
That's
the
what I'm
Stewart one.
saying.
So
The Stewart home or away?
the second game, the away one, was the one that I
Okay.
paid the most attention to.
So the home one, obviously, I said I was there watching it. He had plenty of chances, and I remember the one he tried to back heel it to score
Oh yeah,
instead of just turning on the volley, which he should have done. And I thought, like watching that, it was just, I was so annoyed with him. He just because obviously last year 36 goals is fantastic. A lot of people said he was gonna. It's called second season syndrome, where they do an example of. Do you remember Michu from Swansea?
yeah.
Same with
But
him.
that also, 50-50 because Jonas had 30 goals 3 years ago, and he had 30 goals 2 years ago. I
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that Bastos is a guy that needs the ball to be fed to him. He's not
Yeah.
going to create you the goals. I won't abandon him. I'm not. I don't think I abandon a lot of strikers. I might agree with you that he's not, performing as well because he has basically he's got like 2 goals and he scored them against Guimarães, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Don't
two
get
to
me
three
wrong.
goals.
I still love Bastos. He's probably still my favorite player in the league. But I just think you say that he hasn't been fed enough. But when he has been fed those balls into the box, I feel sometimes that he just doesn't think clearly. Like I said with a back heel, if only he turned around and just volleyed it, it
I,
would have been a goal.
I don't know, but if you remember, Wolfsburg fans weren't really too bothered with him leaving because he had that great year with De Bruyne, and then he kind of dropped off a bit as well. So maybe he's a guy that gets too complacent. I'm not sure. It might be a thing as well.
I think you were right in saying that because there's so many other good players around him. But I also think the fact is that we've got Acuna now, and before we had obviously Bruno Cesar and Joel Campbell. Those two, I think, no disrespect to those two, even though I don't really like them as football players, they don't have that great technical ability. They're both fantastic crossers of the ball, which we've
I
seen,
was going to say
especially
that.
Bruno Cesar. With Acuna, he's got pace, he's got speed. Pace and speed are the same thing, never mind. Pace, I won't say strength, but I said speed. Pace, strength, and he can also cross the ball and he can also strike the ball as well. So I think
He's got a good shot.
Acuna's pretty much got everything that we wanted Bruno Cesar and Joel Campbell to have, which I think also lets down Bastos as well. By the way, what a goal from their still player, which I can't remember his name. Did you see it?
No.
Goal of the season. Honestly, one of the goals of the season.
Are you serious? It was that good?
If you can find it now, watch it. Honestly, it was
All right,
brilliant. It
I'll
was
see if I can.
I think it was Coates headed it out to the player, which was obviously a stupid idea. But I think it was literally just first time volley. And it was top corner. It's a fantastic goal. Bruno Fernandes-esque goal.
I gotta see if I can find it.
Let me just take the drink of water.
He's got the VAR goal. That one I see. Let's see if I can find it. Oh wait, I know where I can find it. Just give me a second. I just gotta go to Sport TV.
I'll just continue.
All right. So
talking.
yeah, continue.
There was also a penalty claim which Jeremy Mateu supposedly took down. There, I think it was clever of Estoril, but it wasn't a penalty because obviously Mateu got the ball. But they did use VAR to review it, and they didn't give it. But the referee didn't blow it anyway. But he just double checked it. And I will say VAR, I think, has been fantastic this season so far. It's cancelled out Porto goals. How many Porto goals in the first game? Was it 2 or maybe 3? Yeah, and then we've seen in some games that it's ruled out penalty decisions which were wrong and some were right. And I think for most teams, when watching sporting games, I haven't watched many Benfica games, but for sporting, VAR has been spot on every time.
It's been okay. It's got its ups and downs. I still, it's made some right calls. It's made some bad calls. What you would expect,
I think,
to be honest
more
with you.
Right. It's made more right than good.
Maybe. It's a great goal, by the way. It's a nice shot. Really nice shot. Really nice shot. But yeah, the VAR thing, it still has its flaws, but I mean, whatever. At this point, I can't be asked if just as long as in the big games where it matters, it actually works. That's what I care. To be honest with you, as long as they don't make any big mistake because of it.
Well, I think eventually there's got to be a mistake of it, but I don't think it will be.
I know, but I'm just talking about how big the mistake is. I don't mind small mistakes. I'm just hoping that it isn't a 90th minute penalty or a 90th minute offside that for some reason it passes. Deciding, actual game deciding play. That's just what I hope.
I guess. I think that's pretty much I've got what to say on there. Spoiling as well, by the way, just for that game. Wait, there was one more thing.
What?
Piccini is awful. He is awful. I've noticed it, what he does, So he starts to make a run. As soon as he gets the ball, he turns around. I don't know why. He turns back around the other way. It annoys me so much. Just if any sporting fans can get access to highlights of the game, watch it. Piccini gets the ball and turns around and runs the other way. I don't know why. It's like he's scared to run forward, and it pisses me off. Bring back Scalotto, please.
Have you said that he can't
never
cross?
Thought I say that. He can't cross either. Although he's got, I think he's got 2 assists so far in the league, so maybe his crossing's not bad. But I just think Scalotto is better than him. I want to see Ristovski play as well, which hopefully he'll get the chance in the next couple of games when he's adapted to the system.
I just want to say something, and sporting, non-sporting related. Before we get to the transfers, it just popped up on my timeline, and I think it's always worth talking. The sport fan that I follow is really level-headed. Did actually just tweet out a minute ago saying a team that wants to be champion and the only player that they bought was a third-string goalkeeper to Ferians. He just said that, and I kind of do agree with him. I think they need at least one striker, like we said. Porto aren't out of the woods yet. I think if they get struck by injuries, because, and I'm sorry to just cut you up, but it's something that I remember that I didn't talk about. Felipe and Marcano weren't injured one game last season. They had 3 center backs. This year, they got 3 center backs too. But if one of them goes down, it's a drop-off from Felipe or Marcano to Diego Reyes. And they're also not thinking about that. because last year their team was really, really solid. They didn't have a lot of injuries. But if they get struck by 2 or 3, things are going to be tough for them. And I just wanted to point that out because I was wanting to say that for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I forgot and just popped back in my mind. All right, now to some sporting news rumors. I'm sure you're all over that. Hopefully you are.
Indeed.
All right, so I've got 2. You can help me out if there's more. But obviously, the obvious rumor that we're going to start off with is William Carvalho leaving. What's the current situation right now, Sam? Like what's been said?
So what's been said around in English media is that West Ham are still interested and that they've made a bid which is not Williams' release clause, which is 40 plus 5 in add-ons. But I think the rumour here was 38 plus 5 in add-ons, which I don't understand. To West Ham, what's the difference between 38 million and 40 million? There is literally no difference to an English club, which annoys me. Also, Monaco in the race for him now, obviously managed by a former Sporting boss and the one who brought him into the team, is one of the best coaches, I believe, in world football. And I think you say you don't like him now, but when he first was under Jardim, he was a fantastic player.
I did say, I know, I admit it. He was a very, very good player, but I also did say that Sporting should have cashed in on him in that first season because he was really, really good. He was really good, like world class, like top 10 defensive midfielders in the world good.
And as a Sporting fan, obviously I want to keep. I believe he's fantastic. I know you have your doubts, and Hugo and Kevin have their doubts. But for me, William is one of the key players of Sporting's team. I think Bataglia is good, but I don't think he's William Carvalho level. But for me, if I were to choose which one he would go to, I'd want him really to go to Monaco, because I think West Ham, no disrespect to their club, but they're bottom of the table right now. And whereas Monaco are getting Champions League football, they've got fantastic players, a fantastic coach.
Admit it, you just want to see William Carvalho score against Sport. That's all you want to see.
No, honestly, I forgot they're in the same group. I think William deserves better than West Ham.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that rumor only popped up because supposedly PSG are getting Fabinho or whatever. I think it is Fabinho, right?
Yep.
But there's been a hold-up because PSG is still trying for the Danilo. So I think the current situation...
Zach would love this situation because obviously he likes talking about Monaco, and because Monaco signed the Anderlecht player as well, Yuri Tillemans, and I think he's in sort of with the Bakayoko role. So I think it's Fabinho and Tillemans playing the 2 centre midfields. So if one of them leaves, maybe William Carvalho pops in.
Exactly. So I think that it's dependent on that deal. So Porto is indirectly, pushing for Sporting to lose one of their key players as well. So it's kind of interesting. The other one that I seen, and let me know if there's more, but the Gelson Dalla rumor that we saw popping up around Britain.
Linked to Rangers under the manager Pedro. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'll give it a go. Okay, I was gonna say that,
You can try it. You can try it.
No, you've already said it now. No problem. But I think that'll be a good move for him. Obviously, Portuguese players have gone there. You've got Bruno Alves. Did you see his free kick the other day, by the way?
No. No, why?
He scored a free kick for Rangers, and it was an absolute banger. Just putting out there. So I hope Gelson Dalla does go. I want to see him getting some game time because obviously everyone knows that he's a fantastic prospect.
You should have added on loan.
On loan, yeah. You can't have him Rangers fan permanently. Yeah, he's ours.
Yeah, he's a good player, to be fair.
There is a few others.
Go ahead.
So, according to Obola, Marvin Zegler is already gone to... Was it Watford? It was Watford, yeah. Because Watford went for Kieran Gibbs and their bid was rejected. So they went for Marvin Zegler. 3 million, I think, plus maybe like 20% of future fee. Now it's 3 million, so it looks like Zegler is on the way to Watford, which, thank you, Watford. I'll take that 3 million.
From 750,000 to 3 million.
Exactly. Enjoy that piece of trash. Yeah. Maybe he'll be one of them players that surprises me and that will go on to do great things.
Not really.
But not, yeah. I won't hold my breath. Scalotto, he was linked to Alaves in Spain. Yeah. But apparently that deal has fallen through, so the teams that are now looking for his signature are teams in the English Championship and the Serie A. So maybe back to Italy Scalotto goes. Hopefully he stays and we just get rid of Piccini anyway. Just for fun. Because Scalotto is better than Piccini. Just leave it at that. Last one, Rui Patricio linked to PSG for 40 million, but apparently there were PSG scouts at the Sporting game, and apparently they were scouting Rui Patricio, but a lot of people say they were scouting Gelson instead. But the rumour was a couple of weeks ago that they were looking at Rui Patricio to replace Kevin Trapp, but Patricio apparently... Okay, so we tweeted this out on the Sporting account, right? And we got a reply from someone saying that he's friends with someone that is close to Rui Patricio, that says Rui Patricio wanted to leave, but he's content if the deal doesn't go through, that he's happy to stay at Sporting, but his preference would be to leave. Whether I believe that or not is another story, but I hope we do keep him, because if Patricio leaves, we've got Salin in goal. No disrespect to Salin, but he's no Rui Patricio. Then if Salin gets injured, we have everyone's favourite Asbay Jacques. So.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine deadline day? William goes, Rui Patricio goes. That's just every Sporting fan's nightmare.
No. And then the week right after that, Salah gets injured.
Salin gets injured
for like 6 months, and like 6
So now we got Jacques and Pedro Silva as the backup goalkeepers.
One can dream. No, that would be.
I can't believe we sold Beto, man. That makes me sad.
Yeah, that was dumb. I mean, he was better than Patricio at certain stints of the season. So
definitely, I think. But to his credit, he did take a role that was much less of him. He could have gone to, I don't know, maybe a Braga and been their first keeper, or maybe even go back to Spain and for some teams and be their first choice goalkeeper. But he took. Maybe Sporting bought him because they thought Patricio was leaving, but fair play to Beto. He did suck it out on the bench, to be fair.
Yeah. And Slavchev got loaned out, which I think you'll really miss him.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who got loaned out?
Slavchev,
did you say?
Yeah.
The Bulgarian. Yeah. I didn't know he was still there, honestly. I saw it. I saw that tweet during the week, and I was like, he's still here? God.
I know, right? He'll be missed.
One more piece of this one's a transfer into Sporting. Do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Jack Rodwell.
Why?
Did you see that rumour?
No.
Did you see it?
No.
So if William leaves, Jack Rodwell of relegated Sunderland, every game Jack Rodwell started for the past 2 years for Sunderland, they lost.
What a start!
Sporting want him to replace William Carvalho, which is a load of shit. If that is true, and we still got Pelina, Petrovic, even Battaglia, and you've got people on loan like Gerardes and Ryan Gould who could play the midfield role. What a slap in the face that would be to them, honestly. Jesus. I pray that does not happen.
That's so stupid. Anyway, and there's also more rumor that Fokobo got loaned out, which Fokobo, star for like the Lisbon Cup like 4 years ago. I remember fans got all happy when he scored the winner against Benfica. That was really funny. Look where he is now. He's gonna be missed. The Alvin rumors that he might go. I said just sell him now. I don't know why you're waiting on that. And,
wait, who?
Alvin, the winger.
Heldon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said Elvin. I was like,
No, no, Heldon. Come on.
I remember when he started for us, and he was absolutely fucking awful.
Mark Silva signing, by the way.
Big up Marco Silva.
No, bring up Marco Silva because I know it's a good time to just, actually just take a little bit of a break. I also don't remember if I discussed Kaki. I don't even remember when Kaki signed for Watford, to be honest with you. But I think it was podcast.
I think it was like last Friday.
Was
it was last Friday or Thursday. It wasn't that far back.
I don't even remember if I talked about it, to be honest with you. So I'll just go ahead and talk about it. Since we're Watford territory because of Marvin, so I'll just go ahead and swoop in. Carrillo signing for Watford is a good thing for him, I guess. He's gonna be reunited with really the manager that got the best out of him, and I think Sam won't be salty about that. I think it's good for Benfica, given that fucking Salvio is going to start every fucking game this season. So who the fuck cares? Was his backup?
He did. Yes. He didn't start the last game, and you drew. Bring back Salvio.
No. Although I'll get to him. Don't worry. So I mean, there's no point in keeping Carrillo around. He's a good. He was underrated, just like people underrated Alajon. And I'm talking about Benfica fans only, not talking about Sporting fans or Porto fans, because obviously all you guys would be at the stats. But Carrillo reminded me of a lot of Alajon, where he was, he calms the game down. He was one of the players that wasn't as aggressive. I liked Alajon, okay? He posted... Actually, if you look at his stats, every game that he played, he had an assist or a goal.
And look where he is now.
I know.
In this championship, I think he's Reading.
I know. It doesn't make him. He has his own issues, which makes it worse. But Carrillo, I'm just comparing play styles. I'm not comparing the person because that also matters. I think it's a good move for him, though. I just wanted to leave it at that, and I might just pop in the question that Danielle had asked us last week that we didn't get to. But Sam, before we get to Benfica, what do you think of Watford so far? How's Marco Silva doing in England?
Marco Silva is actually unbeaten for Watford so far. 1 game and 2 draws. So, we obviously mentioned the signing of who shall not be named, but also the signing of Andre Gray from Burnley is a good signing as well. I'm not too sure on Watford. I'm not sure who else they've signed. But Will Hughes from Derby as well. He is another fantastic midfielder who's been linked to the Premier League for ages. I like Marco Silva, and I'm glad he's proved that biased twat on Sky Sports TV wrong, that Marco Silva was a nobody, came from Greece and anyone could win the league in Greece. And even though Marco Silva and Hull got relegated last year, he was still fantastic. He took Hull, who I think had 9 registered players at the start of the season, and he got in players like Markovic, Ranocchia, players like that. Grosicki, I think his name was, the Polish right winger. And I think Marco Silva is underrated. And if he continues his good run as manager for teams like Watford and Hull, who knows that he could be in maybe the Arsenal manager's job in the next 2 years.
That'll be good. Okay, and I might just pop in another question that, I was talking to my dad. I'll ask you 2 separate questions. The first one is, what do you think of not going to Swansea? I know their manager is good, but the team just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be more understandable if he was going to somewhere like Watford, where Mark Silva, the Portuguese connection? Wouldn't that have fit him better? I'm not saying that Watford were interested. I just want to get your thoughts.
Well, believe it or not, popular opinion is that I don't like Renato Sanchez, but I do. I do like Renato Sanchez. I think he was fantastic at the Euros. I did rate him at the Euros. That was, obviously, I watched Benfica. He was fantastic there as well. Obviously, I consider Renato Sanchez a flop already. I know he's only 19, but you don't pay 30 million for a guy who's going to sit on the bench for 3 years and then when he's 22 become amazing. They paid Renato Sanchez to be good now, not later. So that's why I consider him a flop. but still, I think he can get his career back on track. Then move to Swansea. Like you said, the manager. The only reason he went there is because Paul Clement, who's the manager of Swansea, used to be Ancelotti's assistant at Bayern Munich. Oh no, Pep Guardiola's? I can't remember. He used to be an assistant at Bayern Munich. So he obviously has the links there. But I think no matter what team he goes to, as long as it was in the Premier League, that he'd be fine. And now that he's playing for Swansea, who get relegated, I think that's still a good move for Renato. Just because it's what's it? Premier League experience obviously is the best. Everyone says it's the best league in the world, and for someone to get experience there is just, I think, key to a player's development. So I think Renato Sanchez, who knows, he might even keep. He might be the type of player that suits them for Swansea and keep them up. But maybe, who knows what could happen? I think it's a good move there.
Don't you think it would make more sense if it was somebody more like Watford, though? Wouldn't you prefer if they gave you to choose, you can have Renato at Watford or Renato at Swansea? Which one would you pick?
Probably Watford. Or if maybe I'm surprised he even went to either one of those teams. You think Renato would stay at Bayern? Honestly.
Or go to Milan or somebody else.
Somebody else. Hint Benfica is what you're getting at, I believe.
No, Milan as well. AC Milan over.
I don't
Swansea.
think he gets paid. He wouldn't get played at Milan.
I don't know.
Just my opinion.
Okay, but I wanted to see. I would have rather see him at Watford, but it's fine, whatever. As long as he stays there.
There's a good point as well. When you think about it, so Renato Sanchez went to Swansea. Chelsea are trying to sign Danny Drinkwater, and Arsenal need a midfielder. Why didn't Arsenal or Chelsea, inquire about Renato Sanchez?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. I think, I don't know, maybe they're overlooking because of what happened with Lindelof, even though it's been like 4 games. I don't know.
Lindelof.
I'm not going to get to it because, honestly, I thought he had a poor season last year. Not poor, but not as good as 2 years ago. And I haven't seen any of Manchester United games, so I can't share any opinion.
They're better off without him, so just to let you know, because they haven't conceded yet.
We'll see. All right, but I think that pretty much covers everything, really.
Just
one more thing. Benfica, let's go ahead.
So, and if you follow the Sporting Updates EN Twitter account, you would have seen that we're starting our own podcast tomorrow. So if you are a fan of Sporting, or if you're not, you just want to listen to what me and frequent member of the PTFooty podcast, Estefano, has to say, it would just mean a lot to us if you would tune in, give us some feedback, maybe ask us some questions. So just go to @Sport SCP Updates EN. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we will be broadcasting live on YouTube our first ever podcast. It'll be great to see you all. So
you should say 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock UK time, 12 American.
Eastern Standard. Yeah. There you go. If you want to check in on your rivals, see how they're doing. I mean, come on, guys. It's the only, I think it's like the only Sporting speaking podcast. Like, they're going. What?
There's Sporting 160.
But that's
that is in Portuguese, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're going for what Benfica podcast did. And I know that there's a lot of you Sporting and Porto fans that listen to it because you guys want to know the inside of, Benfica fans on Benfica. So if you want to get inside of Sporting, I mean, I'll definitely try and check it out if I have the time to watch it live. And I think a lot of you guys should, because it's interesting because you get the point of view of the team that you hate from fans that love that team. So it's kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie.
And obviously for me as well, I think you agree with me that Steph is a very level-headed person as well.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of Sporting. And I'd say I am as well.
You are, but I think it's different because one is much older than the other, and the kind of the experience that he has also brings something else to the table. I think it'd be a nice compliment. It's
not just football as well for Steph. We both know it's everything from futsal to table tennis to rowing. He's just crazy. So if you do have the chance to check it out, it will be on iTunes at a later date as well. But as of now, it'll be on YouTube by tomorrow, 5 o'clock UK time. 12 o'clock Eastern. So
I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm sad that Kevin didn't get to do his because just the prospect of watching you guys grow into your own thing. Not that I want to lose you, not that I'm going to, but it's really cool that you guys decided to also try and push yourselves into doing your own project. It's really cool and nice.
Just quickly, I've got to thank you as well, because without you, I wouldn't have even thought of the idea. I wanted to get something like this for a long time, and it was you who actually reached out to me. So thank you for that as well.
You're welcome. That's what I was saying. I'm really happy that you guys are going into your own thing. It's really cool. But anyway, now that you've shouted out, might as well add Sam Fonseca with double A at the end. At SCP updates EN. Don't forget 5 o'clock UK, 12 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. All right, now on to Benfica, the most depressing game of the week, and I mean for me, the happiest game of the week for Sam. No, not really.
It was.
So Rio Ave 1, Benfica 1, Lisandro on goal and Jonas penalty kick decided the game. Bruno Varela in goal, André Almeida, Luizão, Jardel and Eliseu across the back. Felipe Augusto and PZ in the midfield. Servi and Rafa.
You're so used to Salvio being there, it just came out.
I know, right? Servi and Rafa, Jonas and Seferovic. Really early on, Jardel got hurt. What the hell? I don't know. I don't know, man. It's kind of... I'm on the fence. I think his career might be at stake at this point. He missed the whole of last season, and he got hurt week 4. I think week 3 or week 4? Week 4, right?
Week
4.
3, isn't it?
It doesn't matter. 3 or 4 games in, he gets hurt again. If it's something serious, I really worry for his career. But anyway, Lisandro came in, and he didn't really hurt us in any way. Apparently, some Benfica fans blame him for the own goal. They are retarded because he has no chance of doing anything else there. But we'll get to it. I thought the game wasn't good. It wasn't a good performance by Benfica at all, and it wasn't because Rio Ave were a massively great team. No, they were just doing a high press, which a lot of teams don't, and it forced Benfica out of their comfort zone. We also didn't see the only freaking ability that Sabio has that was really, really missed to gain fouls. Like, there was nobody to win a lot of fouls. And I think that was missed. PZ played very, very far back in the middle of the field. He wasn't pushed as forward as he should. Seferovic got basically no opportunities. Jonas had no opportunities. Rafa, it was trash. Servi was okay.
Usual.
I'll get to Rafa. There's something to him that pisses me off. And to be honest with you guys, if I had to pick a man of the match, to pick the best out of a bad bunch, I'll go with Eliseu because I thought he's really solid. He gets picked on a lot, but he does his job and he doesn't really miss a lot of he doesn't make any mistakes really. He might make 2 or 3, but nothing major. I've also wanted to discuss Felipe Augusto, and oh my god, people, please do not kill me for this, okay? Because this is not my opinion. So I'm going to take the 2 opinions, my opinion and the opinion of somebody else that I've talked to after the game. I thought that Felipe Augusto had a very, very bad game. But I also think it's because he's still feeling the weight of the shirt. I think that he's still, not acclimated to being a Benfica player, and I think that he rushes himself, and he makes a lot of bad decisions because of it. But another person that I was talking to said that it wasn't actually his worst game. That that the person thought that he actually had an okay game. This is not my opinion, I swear to God.
I know. If it wasn't his worst game, I'd hate to see his worst game. Jesus.
But the fact that nobody else was helping, and that he's always the guy to get picked on, kind of just helps, putting his name out there. That's what the person told me. To be honest, I know that person isn't a Felipe Augusto fan at all. So if they said that, then there's probably some sense to it.
I think it's just because obviously he's replacing Fraser out of injury. Fraser is a big part of the Benfica team, So when someone else, like even I'd say Samaris is a bit picked on when Benfica don't do as well, because Feijó is just such a important part of Benfica's team that when Felipe Augusto comes in and can't make a tackle or save his life, that obviously, whereas Feijó would like literally make one tackle, win the ball straight away, that Felipe Augusto doesn't have that ability in him.
No, he doesn't. And obviously, I do agree with you. Even if he was Samaris, people would pick on him. But I mean, I think that he wasn't really the worst as well. But it is what it is. The rest of the team didn't like Rafa. It pisses me off when Servi gets subbed off. He shouldn't have been subbed off. He should have been Rafa. But since Servi got subbed off, Rafa started playing well. Like, why do we always get 20 minutes of good Rafa in the game? Like, it doesn't make any sense how you give him the nod to start. You say, this guy costs us 16 million. He needs to start since Salvio is injured. But he only gives you good 20 minutes after he should have been subbed off. So he stays an extra 20 minutes on the pitch that he shouldn't even be there, but he actually plays well those 20 minutes. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'll ask you a question quickly.
Go ahead.
Is Rafa a flop?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you have to say it is. I mean, there's still time, obviously, because he's got a whole season to turn it around, but at this point, he is. Right? No question. Undoubtedly so. He's had some good games, but he had more bad games than good games, and he's just not impacting the team as he should have. But I also think that it's also not his fault, first of all, because I don't think he's a right winger. I think, if anything, he's more suited as a left winger. And the best thing that he did at Braga was a lot of those diagonal passes, and it's just something that you don't see with Benfica. Like, you don't see those passes right through the middle, from left to the center, from right to the center, where that's where he thrives in. There's obviously blame on him, but it's also the way that the team plays. I don't think they fit the player that he is, and obviously he's getting way overpaid for what he's doing.
I feel bad for the guy, honestly, because I really wanted to be sporting after the season at Braga, but obviously he chose Benfica, which did upset me a bit. But I think he's still got a lot of talent, but I just don't think I think maybe in a Porto sort of sporting side, he suits them teams much better than he'd suit a Benfica.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. And that's the thing. Like, you remember the Acuna goal against Steaua?
Yeah.
That's the type of play that Rafa thrives in. Bas Dost goes into the wing, then there's a space open in the middle. The ball goes from right to the middle, and there he is, 1-on-1 with the keeper. That's the type of plays that Rafa does. Like, that's the type of player he is. So when you're taking that away from him, it shuts down a lot of what he is. But I mean, it was a bad game overall for the team. I mean, I have to go look at the subs real quick and actually try and see who came on, because I can't even remember. But I thought that, I know Jimenez came in. I don't remember who else came in. I have to check. I thought that Krovinovic should have been given time, to be honest with you, because what I would have done at the time. Let me just get the sub. Who the hell was subbed? Come on.
So Lisandro was subbed.
Yeah.
Right. Lisandro, Jimenez.
And there was somebody else. Oh, Zivkovic. Okay, so Zivkovic. So I don't think, if anything, Zivkovic should have started. What I would have done was that I would have brought on Krovinovic, and I would have moved Pizzi out wide, taken off Rafa. Why I'm saying this is because Krovinovic knows that team. Yes, it's a different coach, but it's basically the same player that he played with last year. And he's got the ability, especially because Pizzi couldn't get free in that middle of the field. He was standing too far back. So if you put another number 18, a guy that isn't scared to go forward, it's a whole different team. Like, if Benfica didn't feel so retracted at the back, they would have won this game, because it's not a very difficult game. But their best player, Pizzi, just couldn't move from basically the defensive midfield role, which isn't his role, And when he's not on the team, when he's not playing that well, the team doesn't play well. Jonas has to drop back too much, and that leaves Seferovic all the way alone. up front. So nothing where that game was just terrible. Some of it
So
goes
do you
to
blame Rui
PY.
Vitoria for his tactics then?
Yeah, 100%. That game is on Vitoria. I'm not obviously hopping on the Vitoria bandwagon, not even close. But that game goes to him. Yeah, no doubt.
And are you worried after seeing that game that Benfica might not retain their title?
Yeah, I'm worried.
More worried than you were before.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes,
Because obviously we all know Benfica fans are shaking in their boots.
No, I mean, calm down a little bit.
I'm just saying.
But I am worried, especially on the away games, and especially if we would have met Porto, we would have probably lost big time. And it's not even because Porto are playing very well. It's just that our team just doesn't seem to be capable of doing things that a team that's fighting for the title should. Like, we should be able to play out from the back normally. We should be able to trust our goalkeeper. We should be able to be able to hold the midfield. We can't do any of those things. We have a shit goalkeeper. We have no midfield whatsoever. And it's like the attack works when the midfield works, but the issue is getting that midfield to work without Feza. That's why I'm saying that he's got to try new things. If Feza isn't available, I want to see Krovinovic play. I want to see Pizzi move out to the wing, because that needs to happen. We need to have somebody else that can put an impact on the team. So, but yeah, I am worried, especially if we don't sign any goddamn goalkeepers. Which, I mean, we did, but I don't know.
Goalkeeper isn't the problem. It's the defense. You said it yourself.
As well.
Jardel gets in, not Jardel. Luizal, by the time he gets injured, who gets in there?
Yeah.
Do you have to play a left back, a centre back,
you
a
have
right
to
back,
play,
or do you have to play Filipe Augusto at centre back?
Samaris, because he played centre back last year, I think, 2 years ago. It was the year Talisca was at Benfica, so 2 years ago. But it's problematic. Like, it's problematic. Like, you're putting, although I think Samaris would be actually very suited for a centre back role, it's problematic. You're changing a position, and you're losing a defensive midfielder. Like, people are pissed off that Horta got loaned out. First of all, they get pissed off because he's a big Benfiquista and whatever, because actually he hasn't played well. Okay, just putting that out there. But the issue isn't Filipe Augusto. The issue is that we have no defense. We have 3 defensive midfielders, and I don't trust 2 of them. That's the issue. While you guys have William and Battaglia, 2 guys that to me, obviously you can sub in. Obviously there's a big gap, but it's still a very good midfield, in my opinion.
It's not just in terms of good midfield. Like, I know I've spoken about Sporting already, but their depth this season, when you look at the centre defensive mid role, so like you said, William Battaglia, there's also Petrovic, there's also João Palhinha. That's
exactly.
1 very good centre mid, and then 3 decent ones.
But 3 decent above average. Like, we're talking anyone that could play for Braga, Guimarães.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if Filipe Augusto is a number 6. I think he's more of a transition player, because he doesn't attack a lot, but he doesn't defend a lot either. So he fits more of a 3-man midfield. Samaris, I think, has his moments. He's a very aggressive player, and that's what kind of puts me on the fence about him, because I used to love him, and I still do. And Feza is the only really number 6 that Benfica has. So, we lack that defensive midfielder also that I think that we should have gotten. It's just, I don't know. There's some things that worry me. I think I'm just going to get to it. Is there anything you'd like to say about the game?
Not about the game, no.
Okay, so I'm just going to get into positions, and I'm just check how we are on time, actually. Okay, I still got like 5 minutes. So, goalkeeper, tremendous priority. That goal.
You're not getting another one. I'm just saying.
I know, but
you're not getting another goalkeeper.
What's his name? I had his name.
Anderlecht goalkeeper.
Svilar. I think it's Svilar. He's as good as he is. I don't care if he's 18. Start him. As simple as that. If somebody can give Bruno Varela minutes, you can give that kid minutes.
My question
I'm
is,
just saying.
what's up with Julio Cesar? He's still, you know, he's what 37, but he's still a good goalkeeper.
He was injured. I know. I think.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he was. He just came back from injury. That's why he wasn't playing.
okay.
I think he's going to. I think he should take over as the starting goalkeeper. But
But then the problem with
he's
that,
got a chronical bad back, so he's gonna miss games this season. Like it's been reported, like it's a known issue that he has. He has a chronical back injury.
he was close to retiring at the start of the season, wasn't he? Apparently.
Yeah, so reportedly, yeah.
The thing with that is, so Julio Cesar comes in, does Bruno Varela come the third choice goalkeeper? Does that new guy become the third choice goalkeeper? That's the problem that I think.
Exactly, you're not changing much, are you?
You've literally brought in a goalkeeper that I'm not sure if I've heard of, but who is literally, we don't know if he's better than Bruno Varela or he's worse, or he's better than Julio Cesar or worse.
Exactly. So, that's an issue. The right back is an issue. Like you see the games where there's games where Andre Almeida is going to be good, and there's games where he's going to be terrible, like so bad. Like he cannot. Zivkovic makes an easy pass for him, and he gets distracted by half a second, and it's going to be a goal kick for the opposing team because he wasn't paying attention to the play. Like Nelson Smith could have bad games, but his bad games were decent. Andre Almeida's bad games are bad games.
But you're signing Douglas from Barcelona.
I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to in a second, but I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to. I have no opinion about him. I've never seen him play. I know a lot of guys don't like him. I'm gonna take a page out of your book and say judge him when he plays.
Yeah, that's what I said to Hugo as well. Hugo said he wasn't very impressed with the signing, but I said to him, we've had players before that have come to our league and thrived. Just when you think of, like I said, Coates and Mitroglou, who have considered to be flops everywhere else, and have come to our league
and even the opposite,
maybe in the best in the position.
And even the opposite happened. Like we had guys that were really big, like, oh my god, everybody loves Joe Campbell. Oh my god, such a good player.
And
then
Markovic
he comes
as well.
in and flops. Markovic could be another example, and there's more. So
maybe because you're not expecting too much of Douglas that he might surprise you.
Exactly. So that could be a good thing. So hopefully, we bring somebody in. Center back Luizão is totally at fault on that goal. Like I don't care whatever anybody could say to me, he's at fault at that goal. And he might still have the positioning, but he doesn't have the any kind of speed to make up for anything at all.
Did you see, by the way, Hugo bought a Luizão shirt? Luizão Benfica shirt.
No, I hadn't, but I respect the hell out of him. But he's gonna have these type of games, and he's not gonna have anybody to bail him out. Exactly. The other center back position is kind of worrisome for me because honestly, I don't like Lisandro. He's totally not at fault at this goal nor at this game. He had a good game, but I don't like him. I don't rate him enough to play 30 games for Benfica. So it would be mandatory to get a center back, in my opinion. Left back, I'm content with. I really like Eliseo. I really love Grimaldo. So obviously, there's a setback, but.
Can I just add something quickly? Sorry to cut you off on the centre back thing. So I've always said a couple of minutes ago that if Jardel or Luizão gets injured, that you're fucked. But there's also a thing that I think you told me. I'm not sure when Lindelof came about, but it was when you had injury struck to a lot of your centre backs that someone from the youth team came in, which was Lindelof, and became a star. So who knows? Maybe it might be a blessing in disguise to you, but at the moment. It doesn't seem so.
And I trust Ruben Dias, but I think he's lower on the pecking order than Calaiso, which I'm not usually a fan of because he's more of a Luizão type player, and we need more of a Jardel type player, which Ruben Dias could be. So, you have that point, but it's still scary to bank on something that it's uncertain, Yeah,
you've got to hope that they'll become good, not that they are.
Exactly. And I've talked about the DMs, the attacking midfielders, Pizzi, Krovinovic, Krian. Okay, more than okay for me to bail us out this season. This is why Arta couldn't get in the team, by the way. So PT, Kravinovic, Krian, Artek was the fourth guy. He's the odd man out. He got loaned out. Hopefully, he does really, really well before people start pissing off about Filipe Augusto. The rest of the team, I'm okay with actually. You got four very good strikers. You can say whatever about. Yes, for now. I'm talking for now. If nobody leaves, but you can talk about whatever about Raul, but he hasn't actually been playing bad. He almost actually scored. I don't know if you remember, but he almost scored against Rio Ave. So you got Seferovic, Jonas, Raul, and Mitroglou. I can't complain. The wingers, you know my feelings. I'll prefer to have somebody else other than Salvio play, especially because you have Zivkovic and Servi. Both players, in my opinion, have the capability of becoming, another Gelson type of player. So I'm okay there. Again, they should be Benfica. Sign a goddamn goalkeeper, sign a center back, sign a right back, and, things will be okay. Not great. I still would like to get a defensive midfielder, but that's a pipe dream.
The rumor is Garay is coming back. Do you think it's going to happen?
No, not even close.
I think
I would love
I
it.
think like it can, because the report was that Garay actually reached out to Benfica and Valencia to let him go there. I think if Garay returns to Benfica, I think that would be a fantastic sign.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother story.
I know, but I'm just giving my 2 cents.
No, yeah, I agree with you. It's a totally different story. Like, it's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother defense. Luizão isn't as bad because he's got somebody else to bail him out. Bruno Varela or Júlio César won't be as bad because they're not constantly gonna have to defend. They're gonna have a center back that's gonna clear a lot of balls. So Eliseu isn't gonna be as bad because he's gonna have a very, very, very capable center back next to him. Obviously, but that's what signing a world-class center back will do to you. I just don't know if we're going to get that guy.
And all I'm saying as well, just to end my part on it, when you compare the transfer windows of Benfica and Sporting, Mateu went to Sporting, as I said, Coentrão went to Sporting instead. Maybe not Coentrão, but why didn't Benfica even try to go in for Mateu if they knew that Lindelof went?
The thing that pisses me off about Benfica is that they've spoken publicly that they're not going to sign any center backs. Supposedly, you know how things are. One day it's true, the other day it's not. But what they've said publicly before was that their center backs are going to be grown in from the youth system.
But when you look at, like I said, the 2 transfer windows, you look at Sporting, and that's a fantastic one. They've literally plugged every hole that was needed to be plugged. Benfica have lost Semedo, the best right back in the Portuguese league. They lost Lindelof, who was one of the best centre backs in the Portuguese league. And straight away, when them 2 leave, they should know that they need to be replaced. Like when Sporting saw that the defence and the centre back and the left back would need to be replaced, that we did that almost straight away. Why is Benfica pretty much going to wait until the last day to get Douglas, who was, like you said, I've never seen him play, but he didn't cut it at Barcelona. He didn't cut it when he was on loan. I think he was it Inter? I think it was Montoya.
No, it was somebody on the Spanish league.
It might have been like Las Palmas or something. But
yeah,
why take a chance on Douglas when you've had a month or maybe more to sign?
I think they had them in mind that Pedro Pereira was going to be their backup, but obviously that backfired. That kind of hurt. But the rest, I agree with you.
I just think Benfica have taken steps back while
the others, steps forward.
Maybe not Porto, but they're taking not. I wouldn't say steps, leaps. I think they, even like I said with Porto, just bringing back Ricardo Pereira, who is like a new signing for them, and Abubakar.
Mm-hmm.
They have built on their success. I think Benfica are just sort of just like. I think they probably think they already have the title in their bag. They're not too fussed about anything.
I don't know. I don't believe that. But
why would they not sign any big names or for their positions if they didn't think they were fine?
I don't know. I can't answer you that.
What's his name?
I don't think
Kroninovic. Is that how you say his name?
Krovinovic.
Yeah.
Krovinovic.
Did you need him? No. What's the point in signing a left mid when you've got Rafa? You've got.
He's an attacking midfielder, bro.
Oh, is he? I thought he's
Yeah.
Okay, still, you got Pizzi, you got Serbia to play there. You didn't need Kronovic. You can even
But
if it
it's
got
the
to
same
that point
thing
of
that you
injury, you
don't
could put
need.
like Mitroglou or Raul or even Jonas in that centre forward role.
But you don't even need Gabigol, and look at us, we're linked with him, right? I don't care if the deal's
Exactly.
fallen through, I don't care. But the fact that we're linked with him, and supposedly there's a total agreement, like, why? Like, unless there's something that we don't know,
Maybe
then it's
Gabigol
just
can play
stupid.
centre back.
But yeah, to move on, let's get into just, the final names, like we said, Gabigol, we don't think he makes a lot of sense. We've talked Douglas, we talked Villar. I mean, nobody knows him. Milos, nobody knows as well. That's the Croatian guy that we signed, the right back. We signed another right back for the B team, Medina from Real Madrid. And last but not least, what do you think of this Mitroglou deal? Do you think that he goes through? Do you think like he falls out? I know the recent reports that he's fallen out, but what's your personal opinion on it?
I think he'll go, which I think, honestly, I think Benfica should have cashed in on Raul instead. I prefer Mitroglou to Raul Jimenez. I haven't seen much of Serovic player, but I know Benfica fans are raving about him. But I still think Mitroglou was an underrated attacker for you. I know a lot of people do rate him, but I've seen
Me.
you and me have both seen a lot of Benfica fans ranting about Mitroglou and that he doesn't try hard enough. But you can't argue with the stats of goals to game. What annoys me about some fans in general is just that if strikers are there to score, they're not there to do rainbow flicks or chopsticks. As long as they score goals, then why are you complaining?
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
with
agree with
Raul
you.
as well, what was it 45 million he was linked to, and like 20 million? You should have just cashed out, even if there was an offer in, I think maybe above 25 million. You should have just cashed out straight away.
I agree. I think that's it. Unless if you have anything else that you would like to add before I just mentioned Portugal real quick.
I don't think so. If something comes up, I'll remind you. But
Okay, I just want to talk that Portugal does have a game tomorrow against. Is it Iceland? No, it's Faroe Islands, right?
Faroe Islands.
Yeah,
Is it
Faroe
tomorrow?
Islands, whatever. Yeah, it's tomorrow at the Bessa. I don't know the time. Probably 19:45.
So right after you watch listen to the sporting podcast, you can go watch Portugal. What a Thursday night!
Exactly, amazing Thursday night.
Thursday afternoon in America.
Yeah. So Bruno Fernandes got called up because PC's hurt. Thing to just pray to God that it's just like some random shitty ass injury, or they just don't want him to get hurt and call him back.
Apparently, Benfica were the ones to make Fernandes Santos drop him. Apparently, they didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, and Ricardo Pereira.
Congratulations to Bruno Fernandes. Just
yeah,
he's deserved.
Congrats to him. Yeah, he does. And João Cancelo got hurt, so Ricardo Pereira came in for him.
João Cancelo shouldn't even be in the team. I don't know why Ricardo Pereira wasn't selected. Honestly, I really dislike João Cancelo. I don't care what people say. Watched him at the under-21s. He was awful.
And I think that's really it. I think there was a tweet from Neil. It was just saying that am I the only one excited about Nelson Oliveira getting called up to Portugal? The guy had talent. JJ never played him.
I actually like Nelson Oliveira. I've always, I wouldn't say always liked him, but I was excited when he moved to Swansea a couple of years back because I think he was quite underrated. But obviously he went to Swansea. I think he scored one goal in like 20-something games. But if you've been watching recently, when he signed for, is it Norwich? He plays for
Norwich, yes.
Yeah, he's been scoring goals for fun. So I think also that is like a knock-on effect to people like Jota and Ruben Neves to say that even if they're playing in the second tier English football, they can still make it to the Portuguese national team.
Exactly.
So I think that's a great thing from Fernando Santos. Poor header though.
It is what it is. And last but not least, a shocking move. Sporting has loaned out Sambinha to India or whatever the hell.
India.
He went to India, so there you go. Sambinha off to India.
Maybe it's the same team that Helder Postiga plays for.
He's been shipped off to India. So there you go. Terrible news for Sporting fans. Losing Sambinha. No, but now, yeah, I think that's it. I think they did a good job, to be honest. Not to chew my own horn. But anyway, I wanted to say that next week I don't think we're gonna have an episode out. Uh, Luckily for us, it's only Portugal anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if there's no podcast next week, which I think probably won't happen, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, on a Wednesday, that should be our new schedule every Wednesday at 5:15 around that in the US, 10:15 in the UK and Portugal. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Sam?
Thank you all for listening. Hope to see you on Thursday, listening to Sporting Updates podcast, and let's hope Portugal get the win.
Don't miss out tomorrow, 5 UK, 12 p.m. US, Sporting Podcast with Sam and Steph.
Indeed.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.